course, we'll have to see how it goes, because who knows what the dungeon has in store. So without further ado, let's get ready to hop back into it, shall we? Good old elf. Hey Brent, hey Dr. Pirate, how's everyone doing today? Hope everybody's long weekend, if you have one here, is going well. I definitely had a wonderful kind of pseudo-Easter dinner yesterday with my in-laws, and it was delicious, just incredible. Gotta love any holiday that revolves solely around the food prepared, or not solely necessarily, but largely around the food prep, because I am definitely a sucker for a good meal. But okie dokie, we had just picked up our S-Branch runes here, so we were looking pretty good to just head back out to finish the regular dungeon, start making our way through depths and vaults and seeing how things progress, I guess, as the evening goes on here. So let's just do so, shall we? Do need to briefly refresh myself on where all of our spells are sitting. We should be pretty much good to go. I do believe that D14, we left behind a friend, good old Jorgrun, by one of the stairs. So we'll go to a different one for the time being, see if we get slightly better, slightly more fortunate luck with who we run into. At least for a moment there, and then, hello Jorgrun, how's it going? Well, I can't really use silence to take care of you, my friend, just because we unfortunately don't do so hot ourselves under that condition, but at the very least, we'll probably start poisoning you if I remember my keys. There we go. Fantastic. And what else can we potentially do here? I mean, if we just wait out one more turn, hopefully Jorgrun walks towards us. There we go. And that will just allow us to put down a prism just about here-ish, and a bit of ignite poison. Oh, never mind, the prism was not necessary in the end. Holy cow, that ignite poison can definitely do a lot of the heavy lifting. Hello there, my centaur friend, as well. Showing up out of the blue. Fortunately, didn't have too much of an opportunity to fling arrows at us from afar, and I'm hoping that's the worst this floor has to bear. Apparently that's all this floor has to bear at the end of the day here. But definitely not complaining about that. Nice to have a bit more of a straightforward approach, at least for the briefest of moments here. And all of our vault guarding friends can just slowly but surely make their way towards us. And our poison will take care of the rest of the work. Nice. Well, I was definitely slightly concerned at starting off the run here today, or continuing it, I guess, more aptly. Just in the sense that I remembered right before going live that Jorgrun was the last friend that we'd left on this floor. But fortunately, did not end up being quite as much of a sticking point as I may have originally thought, so that is wonderful. And in fact, it's looking like we should just be able to gallivant our way through the remainder of the floor here for the moment, and have a nice little bit of a warm-up, which is always lovely. Whenever I return to a run after the week-long break, I'm always concerned that I'll completely forget how I was piloting it, and I'll have troubles when we jump back in, but so far, so good. We'll see if we can't continue that pattern here, shall we? Oh, geez. Definitely meeting a lot of new friends. Hello, everyone. Well, I'm mainly focused on keeping these slimes off of our back. Kind of want to do one more spell there before we head out. You know, kick the hornet's nest a little bit, get things shifted around and rattling, and then we can return to hopefully pick people off a little more carefully here. But we'll see how it goes. Oh yeah, it's return to a game a day later and forgetting absolutely everything. Exactly. It's a problem that I have with a few different games, especially when I take extended break periods. Specifically, I keep wanting to get back to my Elden Ring game. I don't think I ever actually finished the game, but now when I think about it, I'm worried that I'll just have no idea how to do anything or what's going on. I've also been playing a little bit of some of the more recent Spider-Man games on PlayStation, and that's something where I always forget every single one of the like different combo moves that are available to you, so it's definitely a bit of a learning period whenever I return to games like that after an extended leave of absence. But fortunately, again, we're not seeing too much of that here today in DCSS, so that is fantastic. And you know what, if all of you kiddos want to just come with me, please and thank you. Could barely understand the story to begin with. Oh yeah, no, any From Software game, good luck having any real semblance of what the story is about. At the end of the day, I'm just there to dodge, roll, and smack things, so that's the story as far as I need to know. Okie dokie, definitely a bit more straightforward now that we have made our initial introduction into the floor here. Made a decent amount of noise, but so far not seeing too many new friends coming our way, or at least slowly starting to peter out, because I guess they're still kind of filing in one at a time. Nice orderly queues, which is very, you know, kind and patient of them, so I appreciate that, my dungeon dwelling buddies. Not too bad. And yeah, hopefully we can just finish off the rest of D15 here, and then we'll have to start deciding where we wish to go next. Let's try and knock our Hydra friend into the ice cloud there. I think we did actually temporarily get them in it because they got that slow effect, but not too bad here. And with these red ugly things, we cannot use our ignite poison because they will not be affected too much by the fire damage that comes out from that, so we'll just have to slowly but surely whittle them down using just the poison side. I mean, technically we probably could have just fridged them with Ozukubi's refrigeration, but where's the fun in that? Sometimes we need to experiment a little bit with all the various options at our disposal, and that should just about do the trick. Ooh, an occultist. 6% chance to banish. It's not horrible. I definitely will have troubles if I'm forced to contend with an unscheduled trip to the Abyss here, so slightly terrifying for sure. There we go, reactivating auto pickup means we at least took care of our invisible friend there. Oh, no we did not. The game just thought we did. There we go. Well, that would have been a very shocking turn of events if we had ended up being banished there, because I would have just been befuddled and confused as to how the heck it managed to come to pass. But fortunately, is not the case here at the moment. I'm a little low on MP to be fighting this Rakshasa, so I'm gonna start retreating back slowly but surely. Try and make it to the stairwell, and at least the zombies can't actually follow us up, so they're not too much of a concern one way or another. But just to be safe, we will head right up that stairwell and just resettle this real quick. Bit of a force lance from our demonic friend here, but nothing we can't handle. Fantastic. Now, I'm not sure if this is just some type of special undead spellcaster mini vault, or my initial suspicions were that this is going to be our entrance to depths. So let us confirm that. Perfect, it is indeed. So it's a good sign that we were able to deal with the bodyguards that were guarding the entrance there. Not too bad whatsoever. And fortunately, these summoner friends shouldn't be too much of a problem for us either. Lots of AoE at our disposal. Ooh, and a manual of necromancy. So the game is definitely trying to tell us that we should embrace the darkness here and start to experiment a little bit on the necromancy side of things. I mean, we will have access to a decent number of high-level spells. That's if we take this forbidden knowledge is what I was gonna say, but that's not right. That's not the word. If we take the forbidden knowledge, then we get access to a lot of high-level necromancy spells, so could be an interesting pivot, especially since at the moment we're looking pretty solid. I mean, we could learn Polar Vortex, I guess. I think that we may have found that in a book a while back here. Indeed we did. So let's potentially head up that way now. I'll just pick it up, see where it's sitting at the moment, and if it's at all feasible for us to take that approach. So let's buy this son of a gun, do get Polar Vortex, and we'll take a quick peek in at that as well. I mean, it's already down to 71%, so that's already on the way down. Usually that like first 10% from 100 to 90 is the hardest, so it's definitely an option. And as a bit of an aside to that, we will also get access to Bjornir's Vile Clutch, which is always a fantastic spell. Definitely happy to see it in pretty much any spellcaster run, even after the numerous nerfs that have been attempted to slow it down as an option. But that's something we'll have to decide over the next few minutes here. At the moment, we're just training fighting. I'm pretty sure this is going to hit the cap we set out for it. In fact, we can double check. Yeah, it was just 12. So that should be reached pretty soon. And then maybe it will just be a pivot into necromancy. A +6 with the help of that manual in the aptitude department means that we can train that up in a rigorous fashion without too much of an issue. So definitely seems like a nice avenue for us to be taking throughout the rest of the run. Ooh, I don't like how many different entrances we were dealing with there, and I want to be slightly cautious with all of our yak friends. Hello? Anyone? Where do you all go? Not too bad. Ooh, do I have any thunder resistance? Or lightning, rather. I do not, so yeah, that's definitely going to be a little bit of a problem. Let's actually reset this before we do anything too foolish, shall we? Can at least do a little bit of our Ignite Poison action, get that sorted, and then let's rest on our laurels, heal up a little bit, get the necessary R&R, and then, do I have any electricity resistance? Ooh, right, the Bardiche I'm carrying. I should have remembered that from our trip through Snake, where we were using it to deal with all of the shock serpents down that ways. Not too bad. At least we remembered it at the end of all things here. And fortunately did not result in an untimely demise. So at the end of the day, just have to thank our lucky stars for that. And hopefully we live long enough to make a few more mistakes, shall we? Definitely bring this buddy upstairs as a warden comes around the corner before they stop us from being able to access the stairwell. We will definitely do so. And you're not the vault warden. Hey, there they are. Oh, geez. Well, definitely deal their fair share of damage, to say the least, but we should be able to take them out on their own. Fantastic. And this is why we've been sticking to the Artifact Bardiche for the last little while here, just in case that Thunderhulk son of a gun showed their face again here. So that's fantastic. Excuse me. And let's hope that that brush with the Thunderhulk is the most danger we find ourselves in for our initial foray into vaults. I mean, at the very least, with the Actars, again, the one thing that they don't have, that we always have to be cautious with the centaur counterparts, is the movement speed. So we can definitely just back our little way out of there nice and safe. And that doesn't do too badly for us here. Speaking of your horse counterparts, some centaur warriors showing up as well. But again, we're a little bit past the point in the run where we would be too scared of these sons of guns, so we'll just take care of that without too much ado about nothing. And I should do a quick check on the sentinels. 23% chance to mark us. Yeah, we're definitely lacking a little bit in the willpower department at the moment. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's a lot that we can do about that. I was about to say, we should have actually taken a step back before the warden shut the doors on our face. Whoops. But we can also switch over to some of our higher level spells. Oh, did I fail that? I miscast my 3% chance. That is not good. But hey, one of these should basically clear out all of our new friends here. Fantastic. I mean, there's definitely a reason why we find ourselves gravitating towards ignition on the majority of our spellcaster runs. Love to see it. Immediately turned a drastic situation into something a little bit more on the manageable side. And there we go. We get the fighting sword that we were talking about earlier as well. So I think it is about time we train a little bit of necromancy. I mean, with a +6, it should ramp up pretty dang quickly, so I'm happy to take that all the way to 10 even for the time being. And then there does come the secondary question of, do I want to train more ice magic? Do I want to get up to Polar Vortex? It would definitely be nice to get one of the level 9 spells online as soon as possible here, if we are capable of doing so and keeping ourselves in one piece at the very least. Which, of course, unfortunately, can't really offer too many promises there. Only time will tell. That is a less than ideal circumstance to meet up with a bunch of our slime friends. So we will just have to back up for the moment. Then we're going to use some of our ice magic to help take care of the group here. I mean, what do I even want to do with all of you? Necromancy already up to level 3. Fantastic. So we could, I guess, use this. The base attack delay of 1.9 means that I probably shouldn't. 2 different turns from this son of a gun can very quickly chunk away at what little HP pool we have. So I guess for the moment, we'll just start to walk away. Oh, and I did end up swinging it. Whoops. Right after discussing the very reason why we should not do so. But fortunately, harpies, despite their semi-human appearance, do not have the opposable thumbs required to operate doors, so we will gladly take advantage of that, and we get out of there in one piece. Reset and live to fight another day. This is what I didn't want to fight the slimes in here for. Unfortunately, there's not the wiggle room for us to actually push them back with our Mystic Blast, and so it's a little more dangerous than I might otherwise have liked, but fortunately does not end up being too much of an issue one way or another. And oh my gosh, nothing but Yaktars as far as the eye can see. Yaktars all the way down. What are you carrying? Wand of Charming. Well, unfortunately, you're not going to get too much opportunity to use it, though I'm sure you were very, very charming and all that good stuff. But fortunately for us, don't have to worry about any of that, and we'll just clear out the last little bit of this floor. I actually don't know what this is. I think it's a talisman, if I had to guess, one of the shape-shifting talisman. Oh, and it's the statue form. Right. I mean, I guess with most of our spellcasters, we used to always train transmutations just to have a little bit more defensive capabilities through a spell like statue form. So, should I train some shapeshifting? Wasn't really part of my original plan here. Maybe we'll keep it in mind. We'll keep it at the back of our brain as a potential option for us to take sometime in the future, but we don't have to worry too much about it for the time being. When our spells are definitely doing the trick and we have enough offensive capability that we're currently not too desperate to increase our abilities on the defensive side as well. So that is wonderful. And that should just about be the floor. There could still be a couple stragglers wandering about. Oh my gosh, there were some right by our entrance. I'm shocked that you all were not disturbed by the initial entry and all the noise that we made up in that direction, but glad that we didn't get caught by surprise as we were trying to back away to the stairs and come across a bunch of brand new faces. Would have been less than ideal, to say the very least. As we hear a distant wind, so we have a timed portal here to the Salt Flats is all that's coming to mind. I'm blanking on the official name. Something to do with that. Saltlings galore, I guess, is the big takeaway from my perspective. Regardless of all of that, I doubt that will be a place that I have too much interest in visiting. I mean, we do have the AoE potential to be able to deal with the big crowds that come our way in that zone. However, it's definitely usually a fairly sustained fight. You have to go on for a long time, and we've been far too much in the habit of spending up all of our magic. Actually, speak of the devil, as we managed to do the same thing, even as I explicitly am speaking out against it, but that's fine. The Labrie tar salts. Of course, the finest of salts available. Unfortunately, not available to us. It's a bit of a turn from my character in real life, because I am definitely a salt fiend. It's a big part of why I feel like I don't consider myself to have too much of a sweet tooth. But whenever I say that, I always think that it's not the most fair assessment. I think the real truth of the matter is just how addicted I am to savory things, and specifically the salt in them. That salt content will get me going every time. But not too shabby here. Can I kill you before you phone a friend? Does look like we just barely managed to do so. That is fantastic. Ooh, more Thunderhulks. So this could be our friend Lodul coming our way. In fact, I think we'll start to take some steps away here just in case we have even more of these buddies waiting for us around the next corner. Chocolate covered pretzels, a little bit of the best of both worlds there. I definitely don't mind that either. But it kind of works out that I don't have too much of a sweet tooth, because my partner very much does, and so we're able to share snacky things very easily. Because we each have our own designated department, as it were. Do you know what? Let us start taking some steps away once more here. I don't even think I'll be able to really do much for our last dire elephant friend there, so let's play it safe once more. Head back upstairs. We'll even switch over to a different staircase. Yikes. Holy moly. Well, these sky sharks are definitely hitting a little harder than I would like. One thing we could aim for here, and probably even potentially should have done right when we came up, was actually using Irradiate. I'm a sucker for IMB because of that shoving off of enemies. You know, it feels a little safer, but when they're berserk, they're moving a little too fast for that. And so we might actually be better off by dealing some heavier damage and making sure that these Sons of Guns are taken care of. I guess the one question that remains there is, do I risk waiting a turn, taking attacks from this Sky Shark here, to let this one approach, and then we get a slightly more mana efficient attack, especially when we're only sitting at 7 MP here? It's a little bit sketchy, but this should kill both of them. Oh, it does not. Oh, well, that's always fun when we get a nice little bit of a surprise here. In that case, I think I will use the Wand of Blinding here, and let's actually just use it on both of you. Again, play it a little bit safe. Holy moly. Well, that took a very sudden turn. Of course, down this stairwell, we now have Norris waiting for us, our favorite surf sharker here, so they're going to be a bit of a problem, especially if they get the brain bite on us or they hit us with their weapon. Confusion can bring about the death of even the most experienced and powerful of mages. So let's make sure, or at least try our best, to ensure that that will not become the fate of us here today. And we'll come back over this direction, which fortunately, even though all of our friends were still around, is very much in a manageable state. In fact, against our last slime here, there's no reason not to just head right back upstairs. I probably shouldn't have just stood on the stairs there, just because these Sons of Guns were, again, butted against a wall, so we're missing out on one of the big advantages of IMB, but fortunately doesn't seem to be too much of a deal breaker one way or another.